What if I told you that nearly every decision you make, from what you buy to who you trust, isn't entirely your own? There's a hidden science of influence, a secret playbook that silently guides your actions every single day. We're constantly bombarded with choices, right? Your brain, to save energy, relies on mental shortcuts for everything: what to eat, what to buy, who to trust. These shortcuts are incredibly efficient. But here's the catch: they also make you incredibly vulnerable. Renowned psychologist Robert Cialdini calls them weapons of influence, psychological triggers that make us act automatically. Now, don't misunderstand. These aren't just tricks. These are deeply ingrained human responses that evolved to help our ancestors survive. Think about it. Returning a favor strengthened social bonds. Following the crowd in danger saved lives. These automatic reactions were once vital for survival. But here's the unsettling part. These ancient instincts are now exploited in modern society, often to benefit others at your expense. Cialdini identified 6 universal principles, 6 weapons, each tapping into an automatic, almost instinctive human reaction. Once you understand them, you'll start seeing how persuasion works everywhere: in advertising, politics, your relationships, even casual conversations. But wait, the true power of these weapons lies in how they combine to create an irresistible force. So, let's quickly uncover these 6 core triggers. First, reciprocation. We feel compelled to return favors, even small ones. That free sample? It's often a subtle demand for repayment. Second, commitment and consistency. Once you commit to something, you desperately want to appear consistent. We'll stick to a choice, even if it's illogical, just to uphold your image. Third, social proof. Ever wonder why you trust a crowded restaurant? We look to others for guidance, especially when we're unsure. If everyone's doing it, we assume it's right. Fourth, liking. You're far more likely to say yes to someone you like. Friendliness, compliments, even shared interests can subtly sway your decisions. Fifth, authority. We're programmed to follow experts and authority figures, often without question. A uniform, a title, these can trigger automatic obedience. And finally, scarcity. Things seem more valuable when they're rare or in limited supply. Limited edition or offer ends soon isn't just a marketing ploy. It's a primal trigger. Here's the critical insight. All 6 of these principles exploit your brain's natural tendency to take shortcuts. Advertisers, politicians, and even your friends know this, using them to guide your behavior, subtly but powerfully. Cialdini isn't just warning you about manipulation. He's showing you how to use these tools ethically. When applied honestly, they build trust and inspire cooperation. But used dishonestly, they exploit, deceive, and control. This isn't just about resisting. It's about understanding and making your own choices. Now, let's dive deep into each one, starting with the surprising power of simply giving something away. Reciprocation. Reciprocation is deceptively simple, yet incredibly powerful. It's the deep-seated human urge to return a favor, a gift, or even just a kind gesture. This isn't just a social nicety. It's a universal rule that built cooperation and trust in every human culture. But here's the twist. This powerful urge can be weaponized. Cialdini shows that even the smallest, unwanted gift triggers an automatic sense of obligation. Think about that free sample at the store. It's designed to make you feel compelled to buy, even if you didn't ask for it. This feeling of debt is almost impossible to resist. You know logically it's a tactic, but emotionally, you hate leaving favors unpaid. Experiments confirm this. People are far more likely to agree to a request after receiving even a tiny gift, regardless of its actual value. Wait until you hear the mint experiment. It proves just how powerful this instinct truly is. Consider the study with waiters. Giving customers a single small mint with their bill significantly increased tips. Give 2 mints, tips went up even more. It's not about the size of the gift, it's the gesture that creates the debt. Manipulators exploit this with the door-in-the-face technique. They start with a huge request they know you'll refuse. Then, when they follow up with a much smaller request, you feel pressured to agree, not because you want to, but to reciprocate their concession. Understanding reciprocation is your shield. When you recognize a favor designed to manipulate, you can pause. Not every gift demands repayment, especially if the intention is self-serving. True generosity gives freely. Manipulative gifts come with strings attached. This isn't just a social rule, it's a deep instinct that can override rational thought. Your awareness and reflection are key to resisting this pressure and using reciprocation ethically. This isn't just about stubbornness. It's a deep-seated human desire to be seen as reliable and rational. Once you take a stand, you feel immense psychological pressure to align your future actions with that decision. Cialdini reveals that these commitments don't have to be massive. Even a small, seemingly insignificant yes can create a lasting obligation. If you publicly agree to a minor request, you're far more likely to comply with a much larger one later. Why? Because you've started to see yourself as a cooperative person, and changing course feels like betraying your own self-image. Salespeople and marketers master this with the foot-in-the-door technique. They'll ask you to sign a petition, complete a quick survey, or make a tiny initial purchase. That small yes opens the door for bigger requests, which you're now much more likely to accept because you're committed. Think about loyalty programs. They're designed to trap you with consistency. You'll be shocked at how it's used against you in everyday life. Consistency is also a powerful social expectation. We're praised for keeping promises and judged for flip-flopping. This social pressure reinforces our self-image as principled individuals, making us even more likely to maintain our commitments, even when it's against our best interest. The danger? This principle can lead to irrational, even harmful behavior. People stick with bad jobs, toxic relationships, or failing ideas just to maintain consistency with past choices. Cult leaders, savvy salespeople, and politicians use this to secure small agreements and then gradually escalate demands. Your defense against this is awareness and reflection. Pause and ask, is this truly my choice, or am I just acting to be consistent with a past commitment? Real consistency aligns with your true values, not someone else's manipulation. This weapon often works hand in hand with reciprocation. And now we turn to another powerful trigger: social proof. Humans are fundamentally social creatures. We're wired to look to others for cues on how to behave, especially in uncertain situations. This is social proof, and it's one of the most pervasive weapons of influence. If everyone else is doing it, we assume it must be right. It's a shortcut to navigating a complex world. Cialdini highlights that social proof is especially potent when you're unsure. A packed restaurant must be good food. A video with millions of views. This is why advertisers use testimonials from average people or highlight most popular products. But be warned, in emergencies, social proof can be deadly. The next example will shock you. In emergencies, social proof can turn dangerous. If everyone else seems calm, individuals might not act, assuming no help is needed. This pluralistic ignorance explains why bystanders sometimes fail to intervene in crises. No one wants to look foolish by overreacting. So everyone waits for someone else to act first. Social proof is also the engine of trends and viral sensations. Popularity begets popularity. When you see others adopting a product or belief, you're more likely to follow. This is why viral marketing explodes on social media. A few early adopters can trigger a massive cascade of behavior. The downside? Social proof can amplify errors. If a group believes something false, the collective belief reinforces itself, leading to rumors, fads, and even mass hysteria. People trust the crowd's judgment even when it's deeply flawed. Driving conformity. Your defense? Don't blindly follow the herd. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't make it right or beneficial for you. Pause, critically evaluate, and make choices that align with your values. Social proof rarely acts alone. It often combines with other principles. Now, let's explore why you're more likely to be swayed by someone you actually like. The principle of liking. Prepare to discover one of the most subtle, yet incredibly powerful weapons of influence. Liking. It's simple. We're far more likely to say yes to people we like. This might seem obvious, but its real power lies in how it operates almost entirely beneath your conscious radar. Your emotions, preferences, and social connections heavily sway your decisions, often far more than pure logic. Cialdini outlines several factors that boost liking and consequently influence. First, physical attractiveness. Good-looking people are often automatically perceived as more intelligent, trustworthy, and competent, even if it's completely unrelated. That's why models populate ads. Your brain unconsciously links their beauty to the product's quality. Second, similarity. We gravitate towards those who share our beliefs, hobbies, background, or values. Salespeople are masters at finding common ground, quickly building rapport to make you more receptive. Third, familiarity. The more you see someone or something, the more you generally like it. Consistent branding, repeated advertising, and frequent social media appearances increase persuasion without a single logical argument. Fourth, compliments and flattery. Who doesn't love a compliment? Skilled flattery creates instant goodwill, making you far more likely to comply. Even small praises can trigger a strong psychological urge to reciprocate. Cialdini calls this the friendly thief. Manipulators will create artificial friendships, feign similarities, or shower you with excessive praise to gain compliance. You comply not because the request is rational, but because you like the person making it. You'll never look at a friendly salesperson the same way again. The next part reveals why we blindly trust some people more than others. Real-world examples are everywhere. Fundraisers use friendly, relatable volunteers. Salespeople build rapport before their pitch. Political campaigns deploy likable spokespeople to subtly shape opinions and votes. Your dissents? Recognize when emotions are driving your decision more than logic. Separate genuine connection from manipulative tactics. Liking rarely works in isolation. It turbocharges other principles. You're more likely to obey an authority figure you like or follow social proof from someone you admire. The most potent persuasion weaves multiple principles together. Now, let's explore another primal driver of compliance: authority. Imagine being told to do something you know is wrong, even harmful, yet you comply. This is the staggering power of authority. We are instinctively wired to follow experts, leaders, and figures of power, a tendency deeply embedded because it once ensured survival. But here's the frightening part. This principle works even your brain assumes a police uniform or a doctor's white coat means legitimate authority. The next example, a chilling psychology experiment, will show you just how far people will go to obey an authority figure. The classic Milgram experiment revealed this horrifying truth. Participants were willing to administer what they believed were painful electric shocks to another person, simply because an experimenter in a lab coat told them to continue. The mere appearance of authority overrode personal judgment and basic ethics. This is why companies prominently display certifications, awards, or expert endorsements. They're not just boasting. They're deploying a trigger for automatic compliance, especially when you're busy, distracted, or uncertain. The danger is immense. Authority can lead you to act against your own interests or morals. People obey orders they'd normally consider wrong just because they come from a perceived authority figure. This explains everything from unethical workplace compliance to devastating historical events. Your defense: ask critical questions. Is this person truly an expert in this specific context? Do they genuinely have your best interests at heart? Are they relying on facts or just symbols and appearances? Critical thinking is your ultimate shield against blind deference. Real leaders use authority responsibly to guide and protect, not to manipulate. Understanding this allows you to spot exploitation and use this principle ethically yourself. As we move to our final weapon, you'll see how urgency and rarity can push your decisions into overdrive. Scarcity. Have you ever felt an intense urgency to buy something just because it was limited edition or selling out fast? That's the powerful weapon of scarcity at work. We instinctively value things more when they are rare or difficult to obtain. This taps into a primal fear, missing out on something valuable. Cialdini explains scarcity operates in two key ways: limited availability and time pressure. When products or opportunities are in short supply, they suddenly seem more desirable. Deadlines like offer ends soon create an intense urgency, compelling you to act quickly. This isn't just clever marketing. It's exploiting a deep-seated fear in your brain, and it works every time. The psychological magic lies in loss aversion. We are far more motivated by the fear of losing something than by the prospect of gaining something of equal value. That's why a limited store's announcing stock almost gone, or that person who plays hard to get becomes more desirable. Even exclusive information or secret tips carry more weight. Scarcity makes anything seem more valuable. This weapon is incredibly potent when combined with others. An authority figure endorsing a scarce product, social proof showing everyone else competing for it. The desire intensifies exponentially. Marketers, politicians, and influencers are masters at blending these triggers. While scarcity can motivate positive action, it's also a prime tool for manipulation. It can make you make poor decisions or pay excessive prices simply because of perceived rarity. That urgency overrides careful reasoning, leading to impulsive behavior. Your defense: pause and ask, do I really want this? Or am I being driven by the fear of losing it? True value isn't about rarity, but actual usefulness. Recognize when urgency is artificially created. This instinct helped our ancestors survive, but today it's a powerful lever for control. Now, let's see how all these principles combine to create instant influence. In today's overwhelming world, your mind is constantly flooded with information and decisions. You simply can't consciously analyze everything. So, your brain relies on incredibly efficient mental shortcuts or automatic responses. Cialdini calls this instant influence. These shortcuts allow you to react quickly, but they're also your biggest vulnerability to manipulation. Instant influence is the combined force of reciprocation, commitment, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity, all working in concert, often without you even realizing it. These aren't just modern marketing tricks. They're echoes of survival instincts. For our ancestors, following authority or the crowd, or quickly grabbing a scarce resource, often saved lives. Today, these same instincts are triggered for buying products, joining movements, or donating money. You'll be shocked at how many times you've fallen for canned social proof today alone. The next part explains how manipulators combine these forces to make you powerless. Think of canned social proof. Seeing a product with thousands of likes or reviews makes you automatically assume it's good. A friendly, authoritative salesperson offering a limited-time deal, that's multiple triggers hitting you at once, designed for instant compliance. Manipulators are masters at combining these principles. A salesperson might be friendly, liking, offer a small discount, reciprocation, say it's the last one in stock, scarcity, and mention everyone else is buying it, social proof. Each layer makes resistance harder. The key insight: instant influence bypasses your rational analysis. You act on feelings and assumptions, not logic. Your brain's automatic system is efficient, yes, but incredibly exploitable. Your power lies in recognizing these patterns. Cialdini stresses that this knowledge isn't for manipulation, but for ethical influence and self-defense. Used responsibly, these principles inspire cooperation and positive change. Misused, they exploit psychology for selfish gain. In a world of constant persuasion, understanding instant influence is your superpower. It empowers you to protect your choices, question automatic responses, and reclaim control over your behavior. You're no longer a passive target, but an active decision maker. In this final reflection, Cialdini brings it all together. You've now seen the 6 universal principles of human behavior: reciprocation, commitment and consistency, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. These are not flaws. They're deeply ingrained human instincts that helped our ancestors survive and thrive. The challenge? In the modern world, these powerful instincts are constantly exploited for profit, power, or personal gain. But here's your dual advantage from understanding them. First, you can now instantly recognize when you're being manipulated. You'll spot the scarcity tactic, the feigned friendship, the subtle social proof. This allows you to pause, analyze, and make deliberate choices, not just reflexive ones. Second, you can use these principles ethically yourself. Knowledge of these triggers isn't just for defense. It's a powerful tool to inspire, motivate, and lead responsibly. Ethical influence respects autonomy, builds trust, and encourages informed decisions, rather than exploiting weaknesses. Most people remain blissfully unaware of these subtle forces. That unawareness is exactly what advertisers, politicians, and salespeople rely on. But for you, that ends today. Awareness creates a mental filter, allowing you to act intentionally, not automatically. Remember, influence is rarely one-dimensional. These principles are interconnected, often combined for maximum effect. A product might be scarce, endorsed by an authority, and recommended by your peers all at once. Recognizing these dynamics gives you a significant edge. Persuasion itself isn't good or bad. Its ethical value depends entirely on intent. Used responsibly, it fosters cooperation and positive action. Used unethically, it deceives. This knowledge empowers you to navigate the modern world wisely, ethically, and with integrity. You are now equipped with the ultimate superpower, understanding how influence works.